Commissioned in early March of 2009, the Columbia Hydrogen Fueling Station was provided with funding from the Center for Transportation and the Environment, the Federal Transportation Administration, and the South Carolina Research Authority.
We became interested in the fueling station project in the fall of 2006 after we were notified that the Federal Transit Administration had selected Columbia to be one of the 3 demonstration sites for a fuel cell bus project. And this really pushed us to the point of putting the stake in the ground of a permanent commitment to being able to play in the hydrogen world, having our own ability to fuel vehicles.
Similarly, South Carolina Educational Television has invested in future fuels to power their technology. As part of a grant from the South Carolina Research Authority, SCETV now powers 2 of its cameras using fuel cells. Some of the production of this DVD was shot with a hydrogen-powered fuel cell camera. The Columbia Police Department's Segway runs on solid cartridges of metal hydride fuel to power its onboard batteries. Not all mobile fuel cell demonstrations in Columbia have wheels, however. The Columbia office of the Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Army's Training Center and Base, Fort Jackson, are involved in debuting and demonstrating first responder communications equipment powered by fuel cells.
Fort Jackson has already been partnered with the University of South Carolina on various research efforts, but we saw an opportunity in 2006 to begin a dedicated effort to deploy fuel cell technology out there. The first thing we did as part of our initial round of the Fuel Cell Challenge was to place 5 portable power units with the first responders in the Emergency Services Center out at Fort Jackson. We enabled them to actually use the technology in real-world applications for a full year. That project was very successful. Based on the lessons learned on that, we've recently begun a project that will place 10 5-kilowatt backup power units and actually provide backup power for their 911 call center, for their critical communications and data center, and for their energy monitoring control center, all on the fort.
From research to demonstration to commercialization, clearly, with all of the hydrogen activity, there is a need for trained personnel, people to install, maintain, manufacture, and repair these future fuel initiatives.
Well, Midlands Tech is involved in a number of the initiatives relative to alternate energy, and we're really excited about this opportunity to work on hydrogen and hydrogen fuel cells. We at the college just believe so strongly that we in the United States have waited too long to look at alternative energy. And we think we have the opportunity to make the greater Columbia area in the Midlands of South Carolina a center for research and applications deployment in hydrogen fuel cells.
And their new Enterprise campus features opportunities for students to be trained in, among other things, installation, construction, and maintenance of fuel cells.
The program is set up at this point as an embedded program. It's set up so it's part of our power generation and delivery certificate, so that people coming into the program learn more than just fuel cells. And the idea is to make these people maximally employable.
Within this climate of innovation, with strong support from the business community, the city government, and federal funds, the Columbia Hydrogen Fuel Cell District is growing.
Fuel Cell District is an area of Columbia that is being renovated and redeveloped around largely the Innovista research campus. And the idea is that Innovista and the Fuel Cell District will be an area where people will live and work and have recreation, and it'll be a community that will be very desirable, and we think it'll be a model of how many urban areas would like to develop in the future.
It's a magnet for talent, whether it be student talent or research talent. It's a magnet for companies that are in this business. They can come to Columbia. They know that it's a hydrogen and fuel cell friendly city. It's a place where our political leaders understand the technology, embrace the technology, and where our citizens have a vision that we can really create winners in this business. To sum it up, we can provide a company with research and product innovation needs. We can provide them with funding. We can provide them with office or lab space. And we can provide them a community which is supportive for hydrogen and fuel cell businesses.
In addition to growing fuel cell companies locally, many future fuels companies are relocating to the Columbia area to take advantage of the favorable growth climate. The Midlands Tech Business Accelerator will help train the future workforce of Trulight, a manufacturer of fuel cells and hydrogen fuel canisters.
Trulight manufactures clean technology centered around several technologies. One is hydrogen storage in a dry sodium borohydride technology. Two is in proton exchange membrane fuel cell that converts the hydrogen to electricity. And three in integration technology that also utilizes wind and solar. We are manufacturing the hydrocell at this point in time. The hydrocell is actually the hydrogen storage piece. It's the solid sodium borohydride. At this point in time, we are in a pilot manufacturing program that the state of South Carolina has helped support to basically develop the manufacturing process into a high-rate, low-cost process.
But in addition to all of this great support, there is still one piece of the puzzle that also helps to grow the hydrogen economy here in Columbia: local funding. To answer the need for local seed capital and investment, both Midlands Tech and the South Carolina Research Authority have piloted projects to help companies succeed.
Our mission at SCRA is to support knowledge economy companies, both to grow our own from within and to help attract companies from outside the state. And we use things like demonstration projects like through the Fuel Cell Challenge to make that possible.
In 2008, a study that was conducted by USC's Moore School of Business concluded that we had helped either locate or form in the state over 180 high-tech knowledge economy companies, and that those companies accounted for over 15,000 jobs with annual per capita wages of between $55,000 and $77,000.
Well, there are two pieces of legislation that really give South Carolina a competitive edge in attracting these kinds of projects to the state. The first is the 2006 Industry Partnership legislation, and that fund, which we can populate up to $6 million, can be used to help underwrite the costs of, among other things, demonstration projects, investments in startup companies, etc. And the second piece was a dedicated set of legislation in 2007 called the South Carolina Hydrogen Infrastructure Development Act that is dedicated solely for supporting hydrogen infrastructure development projects.
The collaboration between government, state and the private sector is the only way that we will be able to advance the hydrogen cause. And in general, I have to add, any type of a big-scale engineering research. We cannot do it alone at the universities. Industry, on the other hand, cannot do it without the fundamental science advances that they are made at universities. And of course, the federal and the state governments are the catalysts for the work between the two. So it's a unique element for a successful recipe, I guess, and I think that we have hit it right here in the state of South Carolina. We have hit it right with a close collaboration between the state, the city of Columbia and the University of South Carolina, and in the process we have managed to convince the federal government that this is the right way to go, and we have managed to attract the support of the federal government as well. In addition to all the business-related aspects, let me also add that being here in Columbia is a wonderful place. The type of weather, the type of opportunities that we have for people, the environment to grow a family are outstanding elements that attracted me to the University of South Carolina. So I think that our friends in the business community should not underestimate the strength of these elements as well.
We hope you have enjoyed your tour of the Fuel Cell Collaborative here in Columbia.